Hey O fans, Sam here with Olight Canada. The March flash sale is almost upon us. It starts on the 22nd for VIPs and March 24th for all access sale. Today's episode is all about the Seeker 3 Pro in this really cool new forest green gradient color with a special appearance by the matching i5R. So stick around. In the first half of the video, we'll take a close look at these lights on the tabletop, and in the second half, we're going to talk about all the features that are packed into this excellent multi-purpose everyday carry flashlight. The Olight Seeker 3 Pro. Now you can see this OD green is slightly different than other OD greens we've seen before. It's a little more on the bronze side, a little bit less rich than other OD greens, but I think that really sets it apart to be unique. You have this one, it's a little more full, a little more rich, and a little bit more vibrant. This one, it's a little more understated, a little more tactical, and a little more stealthy. Now, you might recall previously the Seeker 3 Pro was released in OD green, an OD green that matches this very, very closely. This makes a great alternative if you didn't pick that one up for one reason or another. Perhaps you didn't like the shark logo that was adorning the lens here. Maybe you had a bad experience in the ocean. Maybe you just don't like Shark Week. For any reason you didn't pick up that one, I think this one makes a really good alternative. You can still get that OD green in your life. You can still have the Seeker 3 Pro in your life, just without any of that Discovery Channel nonsense. And now the turn of the i5R. Now this makes a really excellent pocket light. It's very simple, yet elegant, cost-effective, and yet powerful. I think it's really cool that they're released at the same time because Olight fans do like to match their EDC items. And when you think about this being a full-size, full-power light, maybe on your belt or maybe in your backpack, then you have the i5R, which is a nice pocket-friendly alternative. You can have this in your pocket for those light-duty moments, and if you need the heavy hitter, it's right here, and they look great doing it. Now, if you're an existing user of Olight flashlights, you should already know all about the Seeker 3 Pro. And if you're a subscriber to the channel, you definitely heard me talk about it before. But for those new users out there, and I hope you're watching, let's talk about the top features of the Seeker 3 Pro and why you should carry it as your heavy-hitting Olight of choice. The first thing to consider is the output. You've got 4 LEDs, which is one more than you get on the Seeker 2 Pro, and about 4,200 lumens of peak output, which is about 30% more than you get on the Seeker 2 Pro. Now, that peak output does go down as the battery voltage decreases with use, but don't worry because you have a really handy feature to show you what your battery voltage is. Now that feature is the multi-indicator. Now this was a revolution when it came in on the Seeker 2 Pro, and it's even better with the Seeker 3 Pro. On one side, you show your battery voltage with this little array of LEDs, and on the other side, you get to see your brightness output. That way, when the flashlight is on, you can tell which level you're at and where you can go from there. The Seeker 3 Pro takes it one step further by adding the rotary dial. Now this is a really excellent way to really fine-tune your output. Most Olight flashlights have the press and hold to change modes feature, which this one does have as well. But with the rotary dial, you can take any given mode, start scrolling up or down, and the light steplessly dims or steplessly brightens to be any output you want, anywhere from its minimum all the way up to its turbo setting. You have the ability to fine-tune it to the exact right output for whatever you're looking at. And there is no more flexible light than one that can be fine-tuned to the exact output that you need. Very practical. The second reason is it helps you maximize your runtime. When you consider each electron that doesn't go out the front stays in the battery for you to use later. Now, a lot of people get really fired up about their knurling pattern of choice on a flashlight's grip, but the Seeker 3 Pro offers a really appealing alternative in these rubberized grip surfaces. You can see they're kind of scalloped for where your fingers go. Works really great in sort of an overhand grip or an underhand grip. They fit really great in the hand, and they grip really great both with or without gloves. Also in wet or dry conditions, the grip surface, really appealing feature. Now, there's been a lot of discussion about the safety of high output lights like this, but the Seeker 3 Pro has a few excellent safety features that we'll talk about now. The first being lockout mode is engaged by default. So anytime the light sits for more than 30 seconds, the button won't do anything until you spin the rotary dial about 90 degrees to activate the button. That prevents the light from coming on accidentally in your pocket or in the holster. The second safety feature is the proximity sensor, which also doubles for a practical purpose we'll discuss later. Now this kicks in any level over medium, so if you're in medium, high, or turbo, the light will dim itself down if it detects anything too close to the front of the light, just like that. So this prevents accidents like if it's turned on while it's in a pocket, it's not going to burn through the surface because it's not going to be on turbo brightness anytime there's something up close to it. There's also a practical use for that in everyday use. So say you're walking around your house or any other dark area. If you point the light at a white wall that's right in front of you, normally there'd be a lot of bounce back off that surface that could blind your eyes. But since the light automatically dims itself when there's too much light bouncing back, you can save your eyes from being blinded in that situation. Now, some people see the proximity sensor as a bit of a double-edged sword. Now, I'm sure it is a very valuable safety feature, but on the other hand, it can interfere with your ability to access the higher brightness settings in some scenarios. For example, if you're trying to look out of a car window, you point the light up against the window and it dims itself down. What if you really want to see what's on the other side of the window? Well, you do have that option with the Seeker 3 Pro. Once you're in proximity safe mode, all you got to do is double tap, and that will override the proximity mode and get you full access to turbo and all the brightness settings. Important to keep in mind though, if you do that, if you override the proximity sensor, there's no more proximity sensor for as long as the light stays on. All you got to do is turn it off, and then turn it back on again, and you go right back to full access to that proximity safe mode. Keep in mind, it does still get very hot on extended run times on turbo. Just something that you got to keep in mind when you're putting out this much power out the front of your flashlight. And how can I forget, it wouldn't be a Seeker 3 video without talking about timer mode. Now, just like a few other EDC-minded flashlights in the Olight lineup, the Seeker 3 Pro also has a timer mode. All you got to do is you press once and then press and hold, and the light will flash. If you do it again, it'll flash twice. If you see it flash twice, that means the light will turn itself off in 9 minutes. If you see it flash once, it'll turn itself off in 3 minutes. And those are all the features that you get when you invest in the Seeker 3 Pro. Thanks for watching the video. Please leave a like on the video and comment anything you might have to say in the comments below. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. Don't forget the sale is March 22nd for VIPs and March 24th for the all-access sale at 8 p.m. Eastern on both of those sale days. Thanks for watching.